big story of the day. President Joe Biden has announced that the United States has killed the leader of Al-Qaeda, Ayman al-Zawahiri, in an airstrike in the heart of Kabul. Now, Zawahiri was killed from a precision strike by the U.S. forces using a deadly Hellfire missile, and Zawahiri was standing alone on the balcony while the attack took place. Now, what is being said by U.S. President Joe Biden that he had given a go-ahead for this operation around a week back, and this operation has now been successfully carried out.
After relentlessly seeking Zawahiri for years under Presidents Bush, Obama, and Trump, our intelligence community located Zawahiri earlier this year. He had moved to downtown Kabul to reunite with members of his immediate family. This mission was carefully planned, rigorously minimized the risk of harm to other civilians. And 1 week ago, after being advised that the conditions were optimal, I gave the final approval to go get him. And the mission was a success. None of his family members were hurt, and there were no civilian casualties. Now we have eliminated the emir of Al-Qaeda. My administration will continue to vigilantly monitor and address threats from Al-Qaeda, no matter where they emanate from.
All right, we have Marrof Raza with us and also Captain Alok Bansal joining us here on the broadcast. Good morning to you, gentlemen. Marrof, if I can come to you first on that. The difference is really that we can look upon when it comes to the sensational killing of Osama bin Laden found in Abbottabad in Pakistan, and when it comes to Ayman al-Zawahiri, who in a way resurfaced only when Taliban took over in August last year. What does it mean, the impact that it may have?
Well, lots of points with reference to Zawahiri's killing and resurfacing in Afghanistan. One, it clearly proves that the Taliban was sheltering him, just like bin Laden was being sheltered by the Pakistan army, whatever their denials. The second thing is that the Al-Qaeda has become a hydra-headed monster. So the killing of Zawahiri is going to be good for Mr. Biden's political standing at home and to satisfy the American ego after their drubbing when they took a humiliating withdrawal from Afghanistan. But beyond that, I don't see it having a dramatic difference in how terror groups view Afghanistan's, terror groups view the US, and the US views its so-called war on terror, because it's largely these people who had targeted America. Zawahiri himself was known to have targeted Americans not just at 9/11, but also in the bombings in Kenya and in the American mission elsewhere in Africa. The third point is that Al-Qaeda is now a splintered outfit spreading from Africa, Middle East to South Asia, that's Afghanistan, Pakistan. Parts of it is in Bangladesh also, and going on to Southeast Asia. So really, the US will keep hunting them from time to time, announcing this. It gives a shot in the arm to the huge money that America spends in so-called war of terror and countering these people who had targeted American citizens. And finally, Pakistan needs to remain alert that if it's holding on to some other terror groups, which it hopes to bargain a deal with the US, it might have more strikes like this, because the drones are accurate and they do not cause much collateral damage. Unlike in the case of bin Laden, there could have been collateral damage. America's helicopters also were damaged in that attack. Here it's very clinical. And America this is really Mr. Obama's foreign policy legacy that Biden was part of as vice president, the drone diplomacy, as they called it. So I do not see that America has achieved very much more than symbolic gains. We'll have to wait and watch how Al-Qaeda and others respond to this killing of their leader. They'll certainly appoint another one. They'll certainly target American interests elsewhere in the world.
Right. But Captain Bansal, if we talk about America alone, I mean, it's a 20-year-long war that they had been tracking against Afghanistan, and it took them 11 more years after the killing of Osama bin Laden to track and hunt Zawahiri down. It must have been thought anyway after the killing of Osama bin Laden, Al-Qaeda must have disintegrated.
See, there is no doubt that while Osama bin Laden was the face of Al-Qaeda, Zawahiri was the brain behind it. In fact, most of the planning, most of the things were done by Zawahiri, and Zawahiri was far more vicious than Osama. This fact is clearly proved that it has taken them so long to eliminate him. It's actually over 21 years after 9/11 almost. And I agree with Marrof totally that the very fact that he has been eliminated in Kabul very clearly highlights what I have been trying to say for long times, that Al-Qaeda's links with Taliban remain intact. And these links must be understood. The way the Taliban spokesperson has protested after Ayman al-Zawahiri has been eliminated in a strike also shows that how perturbed Taliban is with this elimination. Now, there is no doubt that the accuracy which the US has achieved with this drone strike is amazing and is, of course, a threat for all these countries which are harboring terrorists like both Afghanistan and Pakistan, because what President Biden has said very clearly is that while Ayman al-Zawahiri has been eliminated, not even one member of his family has been hurt in any way. So that shows the accuracy of eliminating a dreaded terrorist in his home while standing on the balcony without in any way affecting any of his family members. So that's a big technological advantage. But I agree with Marrof that organizations like Al-Qaeda do not disintegrate with the elimination of leaders. A new leader will emerge. There may be some temporary setback because till the new leadership is elected, and it takes a little bit of time, but a new leader will emerge. It is the ideology that needs to be targeted. Individuals can keep coming and going.
No, but sir, when it comes to the strength of Al-Qaeda, I mean, Marrof, you can throw more light on that. Even when we are looking at those pictures that are now emerging of that building where this attack, this precision attack was being carried out, there is a stark difference of what happened in Jalalabad when Bin Laden was killed and when now Zawahiri was killed. Bin Laden being protected by the military there. He was in a very well secured area. The building hardly having any doors and very high up windows there. He was well protected. Here in the case of Zawahiri, there are very stark differences in this way this precision strike was carried out. Marrof.
Well, you know, the thing is that in Pakistan, America had to be far more careful with drone attacks in the heart of Pakistan, because till the very end, they were not 200% sure that Bin Laden was in the building which they attacked. It could have been an operation which could have gone as a false alarm and gone horribly wrong. And Pakistan would have seen that as an attack on Pakistan's territory and sovereignty. One drone attack by America at a terror camp on the Waziristan, Afghanistan frontier had gone wrong. A lot of Pakistan army personnel had been killed and it became a very big issue. Though off the record, Pakistani politicians have admitted, including former Prime Minister Yusuf Raza Gilani, that, you know, we have to make these noises in the National Assembly to satisfy public ego. But the reality is that Pakistan held many more cards against Pakistan held many more cards against the US than Afghanistan does. And therefore, there is very little that Afghanistan can respond negatively to with these attacks. In the case of Pakistan, the first thing they used to do was to blockade American supplies to American troops in Afghanistan. Here, Afghanistan right now is really marginalized, and whether America gives it any supplies or not, the Taliban really will continue with their agenda. The issue is that the Americans must go more strongly against the Taliban regime and eliminate others who are on the hit list of the Americans and the UN. There are cabinet ministers in Afghanistan who are known to be known terrorists, the Haqqanis and various others. America should eliminate them. That's when the Taliban will get a message to reform. Otherwise, Ayman al-Zawahiri, as I said, is a good shot in the arm for Mr. Biden and his political constituency and for the American ego that we've got even with them. But isn't it too much of a coincidence that 20 years they were there and they couldn't needle and pin him out from the crowds that he was hiding with? And when they've gone and eliminated him. So clearly their intelligence when they were on the ground wasn't as good as it is now. That is the only reason they've been able to eliminate him with a point-blank hit.
And that is what is being said, that he was standing on his balcony there for, such kind of a precision drone strike to be carried out, and only he was killed. Of course, the details are yet to be out how this strike was carried out. But Captain Bansal, anything when it comes to the impact happening on India? Because right after the Taliban took over in August last year is when Zawahari also resurfaced. And that is when his threat videos, everything that started to be released, that in a way was being said that yes, he is very much alive in there.
See, we need to be very clear that Zawahari was the one who was planning. In fact, if you remember, after IS emerged and Al-Qaeda and Indian subcontinent was created, it was Zawahari who came out with a video saying that we have created that. He was the one who told that India also belongs to Khorasan. Here, again, I have a slight difference of opinion. His killing now, after Taliban having taken over, indicates that Zawahari was hiding actually in Pakistan till the Taliban's takeover of Afghanistan. And he is actually relocated to Afghanistan only after the Taliban captured Afghanistan. Now, this shows the complicity of ISI. And one of the reasons why he was not as well guarded or as well protected as Osama was, because he thought that in Taliban's Afghanistan, he's totally secure. He doesn't require that sort of a safety as he would have required in Pakistan, where at least they had to have the pretense of hiding because he couldn't openly be moving around. That is probably the reason why he's been eliminated. Well, Al-Qaeda does pose a threat to India, that there is no doubt about it. Both Al-Qaeda and Islamic State are pan-Islamic jihadi organizations which are not confined to any geographical frontiers. Their ideologically talks of global jihad. But his elimination at this moment, I don't think so, will have an immediate impact on us. And that's what we need to understand, that this Al-Qaeda-Taliban combined poses a serious threat to not only India, but to all democratic structures across the world, because they don't believe in the concept of Westphalian concept of a nation state. They are talking of establishment of a global Islamic emirate. And that does pose a threat to every
Of course, we'll be talking with the global impact as well, because in a way, US President Joe Biden, while making that televised address, also saying that it brings closure to the families of over those 3,000 people who were killed in the 9/11 attacks. Thank you. Requesting, in fact, Captain Bansal and Marrof, just stay on with us. We have been also speaking to the defense experts in the United States. Ray Rocker joined us a few minutes back. Let's listen in to his point of view as well on the killing of Ayman al-Zawahiri.